So it's been a sad time, hasn't it? Oh, Tina Turner, gone. Like, that's crazy to me. Can't believe it. Oh, it's been a few days and it's still like, was it? No, not a few days. Found this out, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before, all day. The day that we found out that Tina Turner was no more, well, I mean, she'll be here for eternity. Everywhere I went, I kept hearing her songs, people playing her songs everywhere, which is amazing, obviously. But it's really sad to think that this person who's been legendary for so long and spanning so many generations is no longer. Anyway, she meant a lot to me in terms of someone who's like, I'm just going to be myself. I feel like I'm, I've recorded today, so sometimes you've got to be a little bit more elevated when you're doing the news. But this is, this is us, right? And what's love got to do with it? That movie, understanding this, all the stuff that she went through and the abuse that she went through, the Ike Turner stuff, all that, all the obstacles and adversity. I mean, it's amazing what she's been able to accomplish, right? And there are certain things that I wanted to talk about in terms of that story, that I thought would be interesting, that I think people just really don't know about. So here's something that we don't really know about. We know that she had liver issues. Was it kidney issues? Was it liver issues? Kidney, sorry. Kidney, because you can live, you have one liver, but you can live with one kidney. So she had kidney issues. And what's amazing is that her husband said, hey, instead of you being on dialysis, because they told her you'd have to wait for a kidney, a transplant, he said, I'll give it to you. And, we don't know much about this man. And I thought I could show a video about this man so that we can better understand Tina Turner and the love of her life. Because I think that's something that we're not really focused on. Everybody talks about Ike Turner, and nobody really talks about this Irwin guy. I'm trying to look for the video because I want to showcase that. I think that would definitely be something that people would like to see. This is a woman who finally found love later in life. And I think that's an achievement, right? Because a lot of us can't fathom that even happening. I mean, look, I think I have. I don't know. Stay tuned, right? But no, let me share the screen with you all, so that we can see a little bit more about this Owen Bachman that she married. And she lived in Switzerland by the end of her life. Well, she's been living there for quite a bit, actually. I can't say at the end of her life, but the second half of her life is what I want to say. I mean, she lived in Europe. She lived in France at first, I think for like maybe 10, 20 years. And then the rest of it in Switzerland, right? And so let's share the screen. Hopefully we can find, yes, right here. Okay, so let's open it up. All right, hopefully y'all can hear all of this. And this is from Gossip Girl 1393. 3 on TikTok. No, Gossip Girl 3993 on TikTok. That's this person's video.
Was another kind of handsome. He was an unusual looking man. Great eyes. Roger said to me, Tina, you ride with Irvin. And I want to go, yay.
Irvin. Called him Irvin.
When he found out that her life, he came to America. That was the beginning of our relationship.
She'd asked to marry when she turned 50.
Twice, yeah.
I was trying to show Tina my commitment. A woman turns 50, she should have a commitment from her partner. I proposed and asked the question wrong. Will you marry with me? I was committed. I went down on my knees, had my ring ready, and I had everything ready. And it could have happened that Tina would have said yes. I didn't know.
Sort of said nothing and then strung you along for 20
Yeah, but I mean,
years.
that was okay. Yeah.
Even though he asked me, I didn't think it was real. I didn't.
Look at the cynicism. This is what I mean. When you've been hurt so many times, I'm assuming I wasn't the first and last man she was with, but no, she was cynical and she kept that cynicism even though this man, Irvin, was showing her all this love. And he said, you know what? I will convince you that I am committed. And I love the consistency. See, this is the thing. He was consistent, and that's important, isn't it?
He didn't. How many years later, darling, we got married?
But it's long. Electric charm. I still have it. You know, when I left her 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, I still have that feeling. I feel very warm about this.
I feel loved, feeling secure, look, a touch, sometimes just holding hands through the night, the togetherness, the knowingness of peace, finally, that you don't have to worry. I don't worry about anything.
What does that feel like to hear him say, I want you to have my kidney?
First, I didn't believe him. And then I realized he was serious. And then after he left the hospital, I was going to give me his kidney. Maybe he does love me. I think I always had a phobia of not being loved. So to believe it took a lot of doing.
Okay, so it took a kidney, people. It took a kidney for her to believe that this man, Irvin, loved her. So imagine all the men that think they can send you to some stupid little restaurant and be like, oh yeah, that proves that I love you. No, this man gave a kidney to prove that he loved her because she kept her cynicism and he was like, no, don't worry about it. She never even thought about him in terms of him donating a kidney. I think that's amazing. I think that's really, really, really amazing. And wow, I love that for her. And, you know, hopefully most people could experience that, because I think that's a beautiful thing to know that somebody wants to do something for you, even though you wouldn't ask for it. See, that's the thing. It's when they want to do something for you that you wouldn't ask for yourself, right? That's the true show of love. Now, I also wanted to show another video that I thought was like another expression of love as well. And, no, is that an expression of love? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of people said, not a lot of people, I was watching a YouTuber, I don't remember who it was, that's why I don't want to attribute to the wrong person. And they said, you know, she didn't like Black people. And I said, what? She didn't like Black people. Yeah, apparently that was it. And one of the reasons I wanted to show that video is to show how cynical she was, and the fact that she wasn't feeling as much love in America. I mean, hey, it happens. And, you know, Josephine Baker, Jackie Robinson, a lot of people didn't feel that they were being honored in a certain way. And so she moved to Europe because I believe it was more than just not feeling appreciated. I think it was like, you know, what of it? Like, you're not really feeling me or giving me the same kind of admiration, maybe, that European, maybe there's like a stark difference. It's like, you know, America is more like what's trending for the moment, and as soon as you're off the charts, people forget about you. Whereas in Europe, if you've made a classic song and people love it, they're playing it. They don't care that it was on a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. They play it. If they love an artist, they will play it. And that's the thing. You've got longevity in Europe, and, you know, I should know. And at the end of the day, I think her trauma from being in the United States, having been in a relationship that was not conducive to someone wanting to be able to thrive, right? And that's with Ike Turner. And I know that there's controversy about them both being violent towards each other. I won't explore that right now because I really don't know. None of us really know, except for the people that were there, right? But I will say that I would attribute all of that to her being in Europe. It's one thing about the admiration, but really wanting to be as far away as possible from that old life. I think her trauma was so deep that she wanted nothing to do with anything that reminded her of her old life. I think she wanted to make sure that she wouldn't even bump into someone from her old life. I think it has more to do with the trauma and less to do with color. And if it does, I mean, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't attribute any of that, like what other people have said. I can't necessarily attribute it to her, that she's really not somebody that was fond of Black people. I don't know that. But I've got a video that says the contrary. Like, that I want to, you know, challenge that theory, all right? Because at the end of the day, could this happen? Could this happen? She didn't like, you know, our people, right? Could this happen? We'll see. Check this out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Now this video was from TikTok, from _global_talent. I will attribute all and credit all the people in the description below. All right. So here we go.
I must take advantage of this because the tour is coming to an end. I'm going to bring someone on stage with me now to perform the next song. He's been in my audience for about 25 shows. We're going to bring him up right now. Oh, yes, come on. Don't give me that look. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
That's a Black man. That. Yeah. He's Black. Yeah. I'm just saying. Look at that. And American, by the way. So it's not like he's from somewhere else neither. Yeah.
The girls met him. I never met. This is the first time I've been close to his face, except for out there. So if you will indulge us.
His name
for
is
just a moment.
Sebastian, I
We're
believe.
going to just see how good he is. He's always telling us when we're messing up, huh? They're all watching. Do you remember how many shows you've got? How many?
17
That's
shows.
all right. And okay, give me your name again. Give me your name. Donovan.
Donovan,
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
sorry.
this is Donovan. Big round of
Donovan.
applause.
Donovan, I'm going to put
And the next
his
one you might recognize.
information out. All right. You can't really, you know, put that. But I wanted to show you that, you know, he winds up doing the whole choreography. and all that with them. You don't get to see that much, but you get to see that he's like really, you know, getting into it. And he knows the whole choreography. I will put a link in the description below so you can watch Donovan do the whole choreography. You know, a Black American man. Just saying. I know that's not proof of anything, but at least it says that everything is nuanced. Do you understand? Someone might decide to do something different and not have certain people around them because it's traumatic, right? It may not have to do anything with necessarily that they dislike people of a certain background, whatever, but it could be that it just means that sometimes you need to get help. And I'm not sure she necessarily got like, you know, went into therapy for any of that trauma. So I can't speak of it. So that's pretty much, you know, the whole deal. So I thought that was interesting. This isn't something that I saw everywhere. And so now this next thing I wanted to show is Cher. Do you know that Cher and Tina Turner were very good friends? I did not know that. I knew that her and Oprah were good. And I also remember that Oprah actually had an actor who said she really wanted to be a background singer for Tina Turner. And she'd been in a lot of shows. I think she was famous for that show that she was in with like George Clooney. I think it was called ER. And I know that she was able to go, she's a Canadian actor, and she was able to go on tour with Tina Turner and sing background. Her name is Gloria Rubin. I looked her up the other day. I think that was fascinating. So yeah, I think she did a tribute to her as well. So look up Gloria Rubin, wonderful performer, and she was able to go on tour with Tina Turner. And oh, by the way, she's Black. Just saying. Just saying. All right. So let's do this one. Let's see what Cher had to say about her friend. All right, so we're going to share that.
Sad, but the truth is, the way she's been, first she fought this sickness for such a long time, and she was so strong, as you would think she would be. And then, but towards the end, I know that she told me once, she said, I'm really ready. You know, I just don't want to put up with.
So I've heard this before. I've heard from other people that she said, was it from other people? Oprah, that she said that she was ready to go once she got the diagnosis. And I know that she suffered from other ailments as well that brought her to the kidney situation, yeah? And this TikTok was brought to you by who? Let's move this. Stefano Cher at TikTok, at Stefano Cher on TikTok.
Anymore. She didn't swear. It's so funny, we were best friends. But you know, she didn't want to do it anymore, you know? And so, like, when I started going to visit her because I thought, you know, I need to put this time in here into our friendship so that she knows that we haven't forgotten her. So I kind of all took turns going and spending time with her, and it made her happy. And someone said, Jeff said, when you two laugh together, it is the funniest thing that you could ever possibly want to hear, because we both have such distinct laughs. But she was really happy, and like the first time I went, she was laying on this little stage that she looked out at the lake with, and she was very kind of, you know, kind of Camille, you know, and laying there, and
so I think it brings us a little bit of relief knowing that she had friends that took turns to come and stay with her, to show her that she was not alone. I think we often imagine that these big stars, when they move to another continent, and somehow they're very isolated. I'm sure at some point they are, but when it counts, it sounds like her friends and her family, I don't know family, but it sounds like her friends were definitely there. And unfortunately, 2 of her biological children are no longer with us. And so, you know, that didn't happen. And no mother wants to have that happen before they go. And that's what happened to Tina Turner. In a very short span, actually.
And she said, I can't spend too much time. And then 5 hours later, we were laughing like crazy, and she wanted to get up and show everything that she bought in her house. And boy, there were no surfaces in that house. But, you know, she was having a good time in spite of the fact that she was really sick, you know, and not wanting people to know about it. But she, you know, she had her dialysis machine in her house. And so that's how she was doing it.
Yeah, and Sharon, let me ask you, when you look at her life, you knew her as a person, a spirit, an artist. Many other people know her only from her music, from listening to her work. What do you value? What do you take from the way she lived her life, both as a person and as an artist that so many listen to?
Well, I think first of all, she's one of the great artists in our generation. You know, like in rock and roll. I mean, there was no other person like her. You know, there's no other person even had come kind of close to who she was. And as a woman, she gave you lots of strength, and I'm sure she's encouraged so many young people. But
I will say that that's absolutely true. I mean, the fact that she was so amazing at all the genres. Did you know that before she started her solo career, that as we know it, she dabbled in country music and it was actually really good. And I implore people to not only explore the soul side that she started with, the rock and pop that she ended with, but like the middle part where she was like, let me try country. I love country, let me do it. And she did it. And apparently it was really not, I heard only one song and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I mean, she can sing anything, right? So that just shows the versatility that Tina Turner really had. And we all aspire to that, to just have that versatility and that freedom to do whatever it is that she wanted. Like I said, I believe that based on her trauma, she really wanted to do anything as far as what she did before, when she was not happy. And it's not for us to judge whether it's true or not that this and this happened between her and Ike Turner. All we know is that she was not happy, right? That's all that's important. She was not happy, and she was happy to leave all of that behind. And I know sometimes for some people, leaving things behind means being very, very abrupt. And I have a feeling that that's what it felt like for a lot of her family and maybe even her children, yeah? So Tina Turner, I think we owe you a great debt of gratitude for just gracing us and blessing us with your music and your great personality and your legs. My goodness, them legs, all the way to the end, I'm sure. So, and it gives us great, you know, reminder that it doesn't matter how much money you have, right? She suffered from high blood pressure. She suffered from a few other ailments that then brought on the kidney issues, right? And then once she did dialysis and her husband said, you know, I'll give you the kidney, you know, she started rejecting the kidney. And you know, that's really not something you can gauge, right? You can try everything, but if you don't constantly stay on top of your health, however much you can, and that means doing the best that you can to eat as well and take care of yourself and exercise and all of those things, right? She was on tour for so many years, and then she stopped. And you know, at this point, it's like, was she maintaining because she was so active on tour? And then once she wasn't, things kind of like fell apart. I don't know. I don't know what her life was like. I don't know when all these things started. None of us know, really. But thank you, Tina, for blessing us, like I said. All right. I do want to say something about, you know, we have a sponsor, Replenish, that keeps taking my light away. So, so we're just going to do that just to get like a nice little, you know, nice little picture. Right, a nice little shot. But the Replenish is this really awesome vitamin powder that you know, gives your dog hydration and nutrients, especially if you've got an active dog. If you've got an active dog, you do understand that water is not enough, and that this handy little thing that comes in a little packet, so you can put that in your little pocket or your little fanny pack, right? And then you play with your dog, and you put this in the dog's water, and the dog feels that it can go forever, right? Or once the dog is done playing, you replenish the dog, right? This is what you do. And then you have a dog that is happy, that has all the vitamins available to make sure that they are feeling well, taken care of, and that they are hydrated. You've got to keep the dogs hydrated, people. Keep the canines hydrated. And Replenish is really the kind of product that will do just that. And I'm happy to have them as a sponsor, and we are happy to have them as a sponsor at the first show. And so thank you so much, Replenish. Oh, wait. All right. So now let's talk about what's been going on scandalously. I know. I couldn't avoid it. I tried. I really tried. And, you know, Mariah, who is a Gen Z person in our crew, she was like, I don't even know what, I don't know these people. But this today, she said, you know what? I said last week I didn't know these people, but then they came up in my timeline. I said, I know, you can't avoid it. So now you know. I know you're thinking, what are the millennials doing in their lives? Yes, a lot of drama, right? Man, Sandoval, Vanderpump Rules, Sandoval, he's just a disaster. So I saw this really interesting clip on TikTok. I was like, what? Didn't know this. It was inflammatory. It was like, you know what I'm saying? This is a good one. Let's share this one. Like, oh my God. All right, let's, ooh, no, all right. This is from Steph with Deets on TikTok. Let's share.
If you have not or you can't watch the Peacock version of the Vanderpump Rules Reunion Part 1, here's the scene that everyone is talking about. And this scene was not aired on Bravo. He's a nightstand that you planted the seed for in the hot tub at fucking Coachella. Yeah, you fucking piece of fucking shit.
Apparently in April, she told this person that at Coachella, after you went to sleep, they were in the hot tub, he made a comment to her and was like, so you know, like Ariana and I are like open, right? And that he started coming on to her at fucking Coachella, like telling her that we're open. That has never been the case. I know. Ever. I know.
What are you talking about?
You look at his sleazy little face. Have you looked at his sleazy little face with that porn stash? What are you talking about? I swear, he's got the most smackable face I've ever seen. Really, Sandoval, you've got a smackable face. Check this out. What are you talking about? My attempt at the American accent.
Oh,
That is bullshit.
And you're gonna need to ask Raquel about that when she gets out here because I obviously can't.
Her, so she's gonna say whatever he's been coaching her to say.
Raquel,
Okay, so now they've all said that Raquel does not have a mind of her own. They used to say that for a long time when she was with James. Why do I know so much? God damn it, I know a lot. When she was with James, they were like, does she even have a personality? Does she like she just like everything you like, whatever. So I swear to God, they are giving him the business, right? Ain't nobody let him get away with nothing. Yeah, nothing with an F. Nothing. Sandoval ain't getting away with nothing. All right.
Was told in the hot tub at Coachella last April by Sandoval that they were in an open relationship.
I did
and he was
not
coming
say that.
over. Then why did Raquel repeat that to someone?
She did
last
not
April?
repeat that.
Yes, she did.
I did not
Sandoval.
fucking say
How
that.
did you know she did?
Well,
But the biggest question is, why did Bravo not include that scene? Like, that is a big piece of information that none of us knew.
Dudes, I'm like flabbergasted. And hot tub. So what? I'm telling you, he's disgusting. I knew he was disgusting when he was with Kristen, right? And everybody was like, yo, he's not a good person, blah, 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 blah. And even Katie was like, mm-mm. And when she found out, when they were all found out all together, whatever, Katie had like a little smirk on her face. I was like, See, I can understand you saying, I told you so, not wanting to say it, whatever, but wipe the smirk off your face. Katie, wipe the smirk off your face. Like, we get it. We all knew he was trash, but at the end of the day, your smirk is not needed at this point. But you know what? Proud of Ariana. She's been like killing the game, right? She's been like eating it all over the place, right? Ate that in the outfit, looked amazing, everything. So at the end of the day, Sandoval, I don't know what you're going to do. And you know what's crazy? If you watch more of it, they all kind of go after like Vanderpump, right? Lisa. They all go after because she keeps defending Sandoval. And because he's the moneymaker, because he's the fuck up of the group. The fuck up of the group always gets rewarded. At first we thought it was Schwartz, right? No, first it was James. James came in like a hurricane, like you didn't know how drunk he was going to get, which gig he was going to miss, whatever. And now at the end of the day, Sandoval becomes the sleaziest of them all. Wow, how low can one go? Like after Ariana lost her dog Charlotte, after this is all the times he had sex, like in close proximity of her. After a grandmother died, they had sex, him and Raquel, aka Rachel. Oh, are you kidding? Oh, are you kidding? And you know what they're saying now? They're saying that she's in an undisclosed location, possibly with child, allegedly. I don't even know if it's true, but that's what they were saying. That's the rumor mill. I cannot confirm nor deny. I've got no idea. That's what they've been saying all over the place. They were like, oh, she's somewhere, you know, because she's, embarazada. Okay, that's crazy to me. I can't believe it. I'm like, whatever. Too much of a scandal for me. Okay, we're going to move on from the scandalous stuff. And, well, no, we're going to keep on with the scandalous stuff. Here's a story that I've wanted to talk about that I thought was just horrendous on a human rights level. All right? And it comes from a place that no longer wanted to be colonized by Britain. And, you know, for a long time, we just hailed this place as like the best place ever in the world, right? But check this out, how the mighty have fallen. Because at the end of the day, all of this is happening because they really don't want to bother helping people. Check this out. Check this out. And this isn't the first time. I saw it the first time and I thought it was an isolated incident. There was a man who was not able to make it. He had horrible back pains and somehow could not pay his rent, could not do whatever. And, you know, he just found that life was just too hard. Things were just too hard. And he said, I would like to apply for euthanasia. And they accepted him on the premise he did not have a terminal illness, on the premise that life is too hard. You can literally unalive yourself. Yeah. Can you believe it? So check this out. Let's share the screen. This was in a trusted Daily Mail. All right. Canada, euthanasia, free-for-all gets wilder. A quarter of people now back lethal injections for the poor and homeless. Critic slams shameful attitude in world's most permissive program. Can you believe that? If I just think life is too hard, I'm too poor, I can't get a break, I ain't got no place to live, you know what? Apply and you can unalive yourself at any point. Just make an appointment. Not wait a minute, let's solve your problem. We are Canada after all, the people of the people. You know, we love the people, we take care of you, we give you a security net. Where's the security net, I ask? All of a sudden, check this out. You started your own country to say you wanted something better. Then you said you wanted it to be more like a Commonwealth and just say hi to the Queen and she can come and visit here and then or whatever. That's when the Queen was in power, because, you know, she was in power for a very long time. And then now it's like, you're like, yeah, okay. So you're supposed to be better. You're supposed to be better than this. How have you stooped this low? Check this out. And I, you know, not to be an ass or anything, but I don't know. I think something's shifting in Canada where, dare I say it, they're sounding more like Americans. It sounds more like an American thing. Like it would be more of an American fiction. They'd be like, what? You've got a splinter. Would you like to be unalived? Is it bothering you? Is it being? Would you like to be unalived? We can make an appointment for you for next Wednesday. That's more where I think that, but Canada, no, I would never expect Canada to be that way. But here it is. Canada's under fire once again as host of the world's most permissive assisted unaliving program. When millions of people now say the homeless and poor should be eligible for state-sanctioned death. A survey released this month found that more than a quarter of Canadians say being impoverished or unhoused is a good enough reason for a doctor to inject somebody with an unaliving cocktail of D. Right here, it says it right here. So why would they put out that survey? You tell me. Why? And the program is called MAID. Medical aid in D'ing. All right. You know, YouTube has these rules. It's not rules. It's that they make it hard for you to be seen if you use certain words. And so that's why I'm using certain euphemisms. I'm just making sure you guys understand. So here it is. For some, the poll of 1,000 adults shows that Canada has careened into a euthanasia free-for-all. I agree. Since it legalized the procedures in 2016, I feel like they don't have enough clients. Not enough people are dying because, you know, the healthcare system must be really good, that they've got to go further in, you know, because they've got a budget for it. So, you know, we've got to find more people to, you know, who want to be unalived. That's what I'm gathering from the whole system. I've just thought of that just now as I were talking, right? This is what's going on. 1/3 of Canadians are fine with prescribing assistance to suicide for homelessness. So that's in the poll. Why is that in the poll? Who put the poll together? No wants to know. And why do they want to know? Because then it's going to be like, whoa, all these Canadians feel that way. What can I do Canadian accent? Well, about all Canadians want to make it that way, right? Sorry. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm disgusted. Now, do you agree? Now they want Americans and people in the UK to chime in, right? That's why they make it public, because it's like, yeah, oh, you're living where? So now they're gonna let other people, you know, it used to be, what is it, Switzerland or wherever I think you could go. So now you can just go across the border now. I think it's advertisement. That's what that is. That's all it is. It's advertisement. It says here, Alex Schadenberg, Executive Director of Euthanasia Prevention Coalition. Okay, there's somebody working against this system that is trying to unalive as many people as possible. Said Canada has been on a dangerous, slippery slope. I agree. To widespread assisted unaliving since the law was introduced in 2016. He said, here's what he said. We said we were going to have safeguards and guardrails, but the next government can simply open up further by making a decision. And that's exactly what's happening. Euthanasia is legal in 7 countries. Belgium, so it was Belgium, I meant. Canada, Colombia, Luxembourg, Netherlands, New Zealand, and Spain. Well, several states in Australia, plus several states in Australia. It's only available to children in the Netherlands and Belgium. All right? Oh my goodness. So it says here, how many from what countries? Like, come on. I'm not able to see. Well, anyway, it's just very disappointing to hear that, you know, our brothers and sisters in Canada are not seeing this as a serious problem. Anyway, I thought I should bring attention to that. And of course, I'm going to put the article in the description box at the bottom. And let's leave off with something fun, right? Shall we? I think we should leave off with something fun, because obviously this is sad. This is really sad. I thought this was funny. Can I play this for you guys? I want to play this for you guys, but I've got to send it here. Hold on. I'm just going to send it. And hopefully you guys think it's as funny as I did. And I will end it right here on a good note, you know what I mean? Because that one just got me hooked, really. All right. So, got on the video. All right. And just gonna play it. Come on. All right, so let's share the screen. All right, you guys. Oh God, I really enjoyed this one. Okay. So they just got a new house, and this is the dog exploring the new house in Florida.
Where?
A little loud.
Let's go outside. Okay, squirrels. Oh, I'm gonna open the store.
I love dogs, by the way. I'm just gonna replay it. Oh my god.
Ross.
For the story. This is from Bat Productions. Like, it's 719. The dog is fine. Nothing happened to the dog. The dog is perfectly fine. All of us have never done that. Like, if obviously whoever was sold them the house cleaned the windows so pristinely that the dog didn't realize. So much. I'm Megan.